What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pure Michigan Outdoors. It is still February in Michigan here, and it's still real cold. About 8-9 inches of ice on most of the lakes. A foot of snow at least still. 24 degrees right now. We cannot wait for open water. And today, we just wanted to show you our rod and reel arsenals for this year. First, let me get started with my near and dear Ned rig setup. I fish Ned rigs about 75% of the time. I know this probably is not the best setup, but I love it. It's fun fishing. It's a light rod. So this is a light action St. Croix Triumph 6'6" with a Shimano FK 1000. It is just a super light setup. I can fish it all day. And here's the specs. And then here is a Stradic. Great reel. Awesome reels. Shimano makes great reels. I mean, I highly recommend them. I have a lot of, you'll see here later, I use the CI4 Pluses also. And the St. Croix Triumph, it's a $100 rod. Great rod for the price. Spooled up on here, I have 6-pound Yo-Zuri hybrid, which I have right here. It is awesome line, cheap, low stretch, and it's basically invisible. And up here in Michigan, we have a lot of clear water, so it works real good. I actually have it on 3 of my reels. So let's get to the next one. Probably my favorite setup is this right here. It is a Dobyns Fury 6'6", medium light. And I use shorter rods because we kayak fish a lot and stuff, so they're way easier to get around trees and whatnot and in the river. And tied up on here, I have a little Kitech round ball tungsten jig, because this is my swim bait, wacky rig, kind of do everything rod. And on it I have a Stradic CI4 Plus 2500. That is also spooled up with 6-pound Yo-Zuri. That stuff is just strong. It's low diameter, low stretch. Doesn't seem to get weak in the sun or nothing. So, and I actually have a little Gomescus power knob, I think it's called, which just gives me a little more power with the reel. I really like those. Yeah, so that's my second setup. Like I said, it's mostly your finesse swim baits and stuff like that. It is a good drop shot rod too if you are into that. And I can throw a Ned rig on it. If I was just going to bring one rod out, this is the rod I'd do. I can throw big TRDs, little TRDs, whatever. That's my second setup. My third setup is also a Dobyns Fury. It's also medium light, but it's a 7-foot Dobyns Fury. Probably can't read that, it's backwards. Oh, it might not be. But it is a little bit stiffer than the 6'6". I don't know why that is, but it is the perfect all around, like, jerk bait. Small jerk bait, original floaters, anything like that. You can throw your Kitechs on it. You can throw big TRDs, drop shot. You name it, everything. Great wacky rig rod. Super light. Super smooth. And again, I have the same reel. It's a Stradic, Shimano Stradic CI4 Plus 2500. Spooled up with, this one actually has 8-pound Yo-Zuri hybrid. The same Gomescus power knob on it. And it just has a little bit longer handle than the 6'6", so a little bit more power. It's just a Great all-around setup. Highly recommend it. Super light. I can fish it all day. And then, last but not least, is my heavier setup. And you'll notice I fish a lot of lighter setups. That's just the way I am, and I love spinning tackle. So here is a 7-foot medium action St. Croix Triumph. Long handle. It's great for, I have a Texas rig dinger on there right now. I think that was from last summer, but I have a 2500 Penn Battle 2 on there. Great reel, lots of power. Spooled up with 20-pound Power Pro original Spectra. Great braid. And here I have it tied direct, but a lot of times I'll tie like a 12-pound Seagar with VizX leader on it if I'm fishing, you know, bigger jerk baits or deep diving cranks or what have you. It is it's a little heavier setup, so I don't fish it all that often, but it's nice to have something with a little bit of power, especially fishing with braid. I like to use top waters and stuff in the summer, your prop baits and stuff like that. But yeah, them are my 4 setups. Hope they catch a lot of fish this year. But yeah, thanks for watching. Next, my buddy Andrew will show you his setup for this year.
Welcome back, guys. So I'm going to show you my rod and reel arsenal that I have. But to start out, I bought a new reel. I just bought a Stradic FL by Shimano. It's a 3000 series. I'm going to be pairing that actually with one of my Fluger President rods. So we're using a $220 reel on basically a $50 rod. Makes perfect sense. But I've had that rod for probably 6 years now. I have caught probably over 1,000 fish on it easily, and it has yet to break. I've boat flipped a ton of fish. It's a relatively decent rod. I throw my jerk baits, the red eye shads on it. You can throw Texas rigs on it. Pretty much anything that's pretty much like a 1/4 ounce or heavier, it works great. So we're gonna start out and unbox this thing. This is the first time I ever opened it. Hopefully it's not broken. We got instructions. Don't need those. We got whatever that is, also extra. What's nice about the 3000, I have two 2500 Vanfords, and they just have the regular like oval shaped handle. These have the T handle, which would be nice for like that type of fishing like I just mentioned. So we'll take this out of the bag. Take this sucker out of the bag. Put this sucker together. Try to strip it out so it doesn't work. Tighten her down a little bit. There we go. Now, like I said, I do have the Vanford. Now I just bought this. The first thing I do notice with the Stradic is how much tighter it feels. Now, the Vanford is, I believe, $20 or $30 more, and it is a little bit lighter. This, I believe, weighs 7.9 ounces. It's a 3000, whereas my 2500 Vanfords weigh 6.1 ounces, which is extremely light. It feels like nothing. But the thing that you also get with the Stradic is this is all aluminum. The spool, the body, everything is aluminum. So it's a little bit stronger than the graphite Vanford. So the graphite Vanford has a little bit of clunking that you feel, and I don't know, it's just weird feeling, whereas this is super tight. I do think I like this a little bit more for this style of fishing, whereas the Vanfords are pretty much for my finesse fishing setups, like my Ned rig rod, little jerkbait rods, like Kitech, stuff like that. But this will work great for like power fishing, so to say. So I'm going to put this on my rod over here, try to hit the fan. Like I said, this is a whopping $50 rod, so it's going to be a little weird, but it is what it is. Hopefully it balances pretty decently. Now I used to have, because this is actually the Fluger President rod. It is a $70 combo. It comes with a Fluger President reel, which weighs like 9 ounces or something. So this is pretty much 2 ounces lighter than this. So it should balance pretty good, as long as it's not too tip heavy. Should be good. And that feels really good. Really good. I'm definitely going to like this. Now, I'm going to pair this a little bit later on. Probably not on video because it'll take me way too long. But actually, I'll grab it. I'm actually going to be putting on some Yozuri 8-pound copolymer. Because like I said, this will be my power fishing setup. So I'd like a little bit stronger than 6-pound. Even 8-pound for heavier fish, I have rarely even broken off 6-pound on bass and pike and anything for that matter. So 8-pound should work really well. But so I'll start off with this. I'll go on to my other stuff. So a completely different direction here. This, I'll probably move it forward a little bit. So this is my St. Croix medium light Premier. It is a 7-foot rod. This is pretty much my finesse fishing setup. I pretty much throw only Ned rigs on this rod. It works great for it. It's got a really fast tip, so you can feel everything. Right now I got a 1/6 mushroom head jig head on by Z-Man. I have a Shimano Vanford reel on it, like I was mentioning earlier. It's a 2500 series, 6-pound Yozuri copolymer. I do really like this reel. Like I said, it is a little clunky compared to that Stradic that I just bought, but it's way lighter, so it works great in a super light, like, finesse setup. I don't know. I haven't really had a problem with it. Now, my buddy did have a St. Croix Premier medium, and he was reeling in a 2.5-pound bass. For no reason, it broke like 2 eyes down. For no apparent reason. Like, that rod was never abused. It appeared not to have any damage beforehand. It just randomly broke. So, we'll hope that this one doesn't break. If it does, I guess I'm going to buy another Dobbins, which I'll show you here right now. So, this one is just like Travis's Dobbins Fury. It is a 7-foot medium light. Once again, with a Shimano Vanford 2500 series with 6-pound Yozuri copolymer. I have tied on right now an original floater, an F13 in gold. Probably one of the very first things I throw. If it's not going to be a Ned rig, it's going to be this. I actually just bought this rod because Travis has been using them and he said he really likes it, so we'll see. I will say it's definitely not as light as my St. Croix. It's a little bit heavier, but honestly, if that St. Croix breaks like his did, it's not really worth having a lighter rod. I'll just take this one any day. This one, it does feel to me like more of like a moderate action compared to that one. That's more of a fast. So this one, like I said, should work better like original floater, Kitex, wacky rigs, any real light jerk baits, anything like that. I'm really excited to use this year and see. I have caught one fish on it. We took a trip to Florida and I caught like a 12-inch largie on it. I mean, not much of a test, but it's still nice to catch one on it. So, I'm excited. We'll see. So, going on to the next one. This here is pretty much my cheapy setup. I have a Fluger President limited edition on there, which is basically the XT. So it's got a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio, 8-pound copolymer, and this is actually one of those Fluger President combos that I was talking about. But I did put a different reel on this. This is the XT, not the President. But so as you can tell, Fluger President, medium. I really like these two because they have more of a moderate action, so they're perfect for like jerk baits and stuff. Where you don't want, I personally don't like a super fast tip when I'm fishing that. I like more of a moderate because I feel like you can handle them a little bit better. And like the backbone's way up here, which is perfect. These reels are all right. Definitely not as good as the Shimano by any means, but this reel is also $50 compared to $220 to $250. So that's to be expected. But I mean, it does look pretty cool. I will give them that for a cheapy reel. I have tied on here X-Wrap in a purple gold color. This color works pretty well for me. But otherwise, pretty much I throw like Mossberg Shiner and gold. But it's not a bad little rod. I mean, this is like a $100 setup compared to pretty much $400 setups back there. So, well, 300 to 400, so just a bit different. But another thing we like to do too is it is called a cork sealer. It is by, I believe, U40. You clean them off with like one of those Mr. Magic cleaning pads. So you just get them wet, like they get all gunked up, and you just sand them down a little bit with that. And then you get like a toothbrush, dunk that stuff in that solution, just rub it on, and let it dry and make sure it's even. So now the cork is nice and hard, and it doesn't absorb. It kind of beads up water, so to say. So it doesn't like ruin the cork, which is really nice. But hopefully we can get to using all this stuff here pretty soon. Hopefully within the next couple weeks, we'll definitely be fishing whatever opens up first. Hopefully White Lake, we'll find out. If not, we'll find somewhere else. If we'll have to drive somewhere, we'll have to drive somewhere to fish, because I'm ready to go fishing. But until next time, hopefully the next video will either be us fishing, maybe doing more reviews. We'll let you know. So have a good one.